Harish Kalyan from Ring IQ TV. I am proudly joined by Lorenzo Reynolds, all the way from America. How you doing, mate? You all right?
Yes, sir.
Good stuff, man. Have you the jet lag's over? Have you got used to the time difference now?
Yeah, it didn't take as long getting back adjusted to America time as it did getting adjusted over in London. So we've been back, man, and Franklin's actually back in the gym. So excited to be back home, man. Had a good time in London. The first time I was there, I didn't get a chance to sightsee, but this time we got a chance to sightsee. So that was pretty good, man.
That's good. Obviously, for the viewers that aren't aware of you, you work with Jermaine Franklin. You're his assistant coach. Also used to be a boxer yourself, right?
Yes, I'm a former two-time Golden Glove national champion. I had about 220 amateur fights, after which I turned professional and was 15-0 as a professional in the junior welterweight division, 140 pounds.
Okay, so obviously, great knowledge in the game of boxing, as a fighter, also as a coach. Obviously,
Mhm.
Franklin AJ was a few weeks back, and I've been meaning to get you on Ring IQ TV for a while now. Um, the dust has settled now, but I just want your thoughts on the fight and how you think Jermaine actually handled himself in the ring with AJ.
First and foremost, just super proud of Jermaine. He came to fight. It's like a guy who has a lot of courage and a tenacious mindset to go into someone else's backyard. And so for him to go to London two times in a row, it says a lot about his heart and about his character. So super proud of him for that. It was a good fight. AJ came with a solid game plan. After about round five, I had the fight even. But after round five, I think AJ did a pretty good job of keeping Jermaine out at distance and not letting him get his shots off in the inside. I do think Joshua earned the win. I do think the ref didn't make certain calls, and Jermaine allowed that to frustrate him. But overall, in all fairness, Joshua did land the most effective blows. But Jermaine showed a definitely great chin and just great courage throughout the fight. So we're excited. Like I said, we're back in the gym. We're correcting our mistakes, and we're excited to do it again real soon.
Absolutely. Did you did you think AJ was going to be how he was on that night? Or do you think Derek James improved him? Did you expect a worse off AJ or a better AJ? What was your thoughts on his performance against Franklin?
I thought that he did a good job staying focused. He stayed focused throughout the night. Didn't let his hands go as much as I thought he would, but he stayed focused. So we were surprised at his weight being the way that it was, and just surprised that he didn't throw as much hands. We kind of wanted to engage more in the inside, and once I got inside, AJ did a good job of tying Franklin up, and a few times Franklin allowed himself to get tied up as well. But we wanted a little more engagement, and we didn't get that. But I do think he stayed focused very well.
And do you think Franklin um, broke his character kind of thing? Because he's not really a talker, but during the fight, he was exchanging a few verbals against AJ. That's not really like him, or is that?
He doesn't talk during a press conference. He's not a talker, but he always have said things inside the ring. It was a little more aggressive this time out, but he's if you go back and look at some of his fights early on, he's always been a talker inside the ring. But maybe the frustration made it a little bit more, but he definitely talks a lot during the fight. That's just the way that he kind of turn himself up or amp himself up to get going. So that's always been a part of his game to a degree.
He was obviously in better condition, visibly this time round. Um, what sort of things did you do differently as his strength and conditioning coach? Um, he
We
wasn't troubled by AJ either. He held his shots quite well.
Right. We felt
Different.
like he did a good job in the Dylan White fight. Coming from a 2 year layoff, and having a 4 week camp, he put up his very, very best effort. That was his first time going 12 rounds. To be honest, I thought that we did we did take a few too many punches in 10, 11, and 12 with the Dillian White fight. So the main thing was to make sure that we was in better conditioning. So that was the game plan from day one. And, this time around, he definitely had condition for rounds 10, 11, and 12. So just that and a clean diet. We had a clean diet and a strict training regimen. And one thing I like about Jermaine is everything that we threw at him during training camp, he answered it and answered it well. And so that gave a greater test to him being able to withstand those punches, because Joshua did hit him with some clean punches. And I think had he not been in tip top shape, he would have went down or wouldn't have been able to have the fast recovery that he had during the fight. So I think that fast recovery was a testament to his conditioning being the best that it's been since his professional career.
And do you think Jermaine Franklin was put in the ring against AJ by Eddie Hearn um, just so AJ can gain confidence and most probably just knock an opponent out? Do you think that they had that in their mind, that it will be an easy night's work and he'll get a stoppage win, which he hasn't had for a while? Do you think they ever thought of it like that?
I think if you measure everything on the Dillian White fight, you can see that he's tough. Jermaine is very tough. He's always going to bring toughness to the table, and he's going to fight. So I think that they thought it was going to be an exciting fight for a few rounds, but I think that they thought that the predictions that was put out there that AJ would stop him in rounds 4 or 5, I think that they really stood on that and they believed that. But again, it was a testament to his conditioning. And if you just go back and you judge everything on the Dillian White fight, which I definitely feel like Jermaine won 7 or 8 rounds. Again, when you off 2.5 years and you only have a 4-week training camp, there's not a lot that you can do. When Jermaine started training for that fight, and I'm only talking about it because he's publicly said it as well, but he was working in a factory in Saginaw, Michigan. So you had a guy that was working a 12-hour shift job and jump right into the ring. But again, that lion heart that he has, it took him to the decision and what we thought was the win. And a lot of people from Teddy Atlas to commentators thought that he won as well. And we just real thankful though for the fans in the UK, because a lot of the fans in the UK, they took to social media and they showed the support of thinking that he won the Dillian White fight. And so I think that positioned him for the AJ fight as well. Just the heart of the people and them expressing their opinion. So that, and feeling like if Jermaine would have came to the AJ fight in the exact same conditioning that he was for the Dillian White fight, I think he would have got stopped. But he didn't come in that conditioning. He was 23 pounds lighter, and his cardiovascular system had increased tremendously. So I think they was quite shocked when they seen the shape that he was in, and it kind of threw the game plan off a little bit for AJ and his camp.
Absolutely. I mean, it's evident to see that Jermaine can mix it up with some of the top heavyweights up there.
Absolutely.
He never really he kind of took a big step by fighting Dillian White. He didn't have anything in between, and he done so well. Made a very good account of himself, and then straight up to AJ, who is most probably top 3 heavyweights in the world. Top 3, top 4. Obviously, Usyk's in the mix now. Where do you think Jermaine goes from here now? So he's got obviously 2 back-to-back losses, but the losses on the record doesn't actually they don't seem like losses, if you know what I mean, because he boxed very well in both fights.
Right.
But where do you think he goes next?
I actually think his next fight, I think we're gonna see the best Jermaine Franklin possible. He's hungry. He's back in the gym. These 2 fights have served as a fountain of wisdom for him to learn who he is as a person, to kind of see that he can be in there with the best. I honestly don't believe that we've seen the best Jermaine Franklin yet. And so I'm excited for his future. I think this next fight, once he balance everything out with the cardio and the strength that we're on now, I think that he's going to be that complete fighter. And just the taste of defeat either do one or another thing to you. It either make you stronger or it break your will. I've seen fighters that were undefeated and they took a loss or two and their will were broken. Being that we went over to the UK and who we fought, I think this is going to strengthen Jermaine to the fullest. And yeah, we're excited about his next time out. So we're working on some new things. He's excited. Like I say, he's back in the gym. He's focused, and he's just a guy that loves fighting, and he loves his fans. And he actually loved the fans in the UK. And every interview that he's given over there, he's always gave the fans praise. We actually look at the fans in the UK like they're the superstar because they support on a level that a lot of countries don't. So we always honored to come over there to the UK and showcase our skills.
Absolutely. I mean, the amount of love and support that Jermaine got, um, even though he's fighting a Brit, he's still got that love and support by the fans here. And I think we just kind of as a Brit, we just kind of respect
Yeah.
some fighters. Do you know what I mean? The way they fight, the way they conduct themselves, you just got to give respect. I do want to touch on something that happened towards the end of the fight. Um, 12th round, it was done. Bell went, and then I think AJ kind of tapped Jermaine on the head, and
Right.
kind of like semi pushed him. And then after that, they've got into like a grapple. And then I believe it was yourself. Was it a punch or a push? What actually happened from your point of view?
Uh, from my point of view, Joshua had won the fight. Uh, and so as you see, when I was going up to the ring, I had Jermaine mouthpiece case in my hand. And as I was walking up the ring, I saw Joshua AJ hit Jermaine in the back of the head, and I saw them wrestling. I saw Joshua pushing him back. Well, from my point of view, it was across the ring, even when you look on tape. And so my job is to protect my fighter, even if that means giving up my life. That's just how serious I look at that. I looked at the face of Jermaine, and he appeared to be very uncomfortable with being pushed back the way that he was being pushed back by AJ. And so I thought about some of AJ's past behavior in his past few fights, and I just didn't know what was going on. I felt like I needed to protect my fighter. So it definitely wasn't a punch. By far, it was a push because they started in the neutral corner and they ended up way over there in the corner that we were in. And so if it wasn't instigated by AJ, then they would have never got that far with Jermaine being pushed back. So it was just to get AJ's attention, like, hey, get off my fighter. At that point in time, I almost felt like he was bullying. And
Mm.
so one of the classes I teach to the youth is the anti-bullying camp and standing up for yourself. So I felt like that was a chance where I needed to stand up for my fighter. To be honest with you, if it was a situation where I had to do that 100 times, I will react the same way with protecting my fighter.
That is totally understandable. Obviously, you're flown over as a team. You're in his corner, and that is just pure loyalty. So that is totally understandable. And obviously, when emotions are running high, things like that can happen. Um,
Right.
what was said from outside the ring? I believe it was Tony Bellew. What happened there? Did he say something to you when that happened, or?
Yeah. So before I get into that, I want to say about AJ before the fight. AJ is a gentleman, in my opinion. He came up, he shook our hands. There were no cuss words or bad blood exchange whatsoever. It was just in the heat of that moment, I wasn't comfortable with what he was doing with pushing the fighter back. As it goes to Tony, Tony was on the outside of the ring down, and he was yelling cuss words and insults. And so from when you yell cuss words and insults, and again, go back and look at the video. He's yelling cuss words and insults, and he took 2 steps towards the ring. So when he took 2 steps towards the ring, I jumped down to meet him. Because if you're going to come in my direction, I'm not going to let you come up on me. I'll meet you with it. And at that point in time, it didn't matter about resumes. It didn't matter about size. It didn't matter about weight. When you're defending yourself, I think you have, and you should take whatever cautions that you can to make sure that that person is not aggressive with you. So I looked at his behavior as if his behavior was aggressive first, and so I responded to Tony's behavior. So I feel like everything I did was was a reaction off of what was done to us first, with AJ doing the pushing and then with Tony yelling the way that he was yelling. And like I said, he took those steps forward. So again, it's just a natural reaction of being from a place where you have to make sure that you position yourself to survive. So that's what that was.
And what kind of energy was he bringing? Was it cuss words in general? Was he threatening you? Was he calling you out? What was actually said? Um,
With all the noise, I really couldn't get a clear understanding of what he was saying. It was mainly his body language that I was reading. Uh, and so looking at the interview, it was just and some of the comments he made, it was kind of a contradiction because at one point he was saying that he was trying to make peace, but that wasn't the way to make peace. And then, like I said, when you go back and look at the tape, if AJ was pushing my fighter back and you're defending your fighter, you're not defending, well, you're defending your friend. How are you defending your friend who instigated something? So it's like, how do you take two wrongs and make that right? So that's just what I wasn't understanding with Tony. Like I said, he was doing the yelling and he took the first steps forward. So again, I was willing to meet him where he was at. And I heard the comments with Tony chin him, and I would have been excited if he would have, tried to do that.
Obviously, Tony, he's a very outspoken person, um, loyal as well. Obviously, he's his guy is Joshua, um,
Right.
and obviously, I remember when Deontay Wilder came here, um, Tony Bellew was basically up in his face as well. Um, I believe last week you spoke to another channel, um, and I kind of skim read it. But you were willing to get in the ring with him and whether he wanted to settle it that way. Well, was that said? I might be mistaken.
No, that was absolutely said. When two people have a problem with each other, I think it should be solved, and there's no better way to solve that problem than getting inside the ring. I have a high level of respect for Jermaine. He had a young man walk to the ring with him that's been fighting and battling with cancer. And so my suggestion to Tony was, hey, if you truly have a problem and you want to defend your friend, whether he's right or wrong, let's get in the ring and let's solve this. And so that's something that I stand on 100%. And you get mixed comments and you get mixed feelings about that. I had some people that looked at the videos and they from England and was like, Lorenzo, you're right. We agree with you. And then I had other people who were upset because they look at his accomplishments and feel like you can't say something to someone that's accomplished. And that's not my point of view at all. It doesn't matter about your level of success, the money you have. If you're right, you're right. And if you're wrong, you're wrong. And I felt like both gentlemen was wrong in the approach with Joshua pushing Jermaine the way that he did. And I felt like Tony was wrong for his response with yelling and cursing in return. And so my thing is, hey, what's the next step? What you want to do? The ball is in your court because we know where I'm at with things, and it'll be a way to raise money for cancer awareness, and it'll be a win for everybody. So I would love to settle it that way.
Yeah, what weight would that be at? The catch weight?
We definitely would have to agree with the weight. He looks a little heavy right now. That's why I was laughing when he said he would knock me out in his suit because he was, a little bit overweight with a tight suit on. But you yelling in person, and like I said, man, it's a cultural difference. But when you get in people's face and you want to disrespect somebody, I think you should be ready for any and every consequence that come with that. Because I'm not going to do it. I'm not getting in nobody's face unless I'm defending myself or defending a fighter or defending my family. Other than that, you won't see me in nobody's face yelling and cursing. And so if you're bold enough to do that, then you should be bold enough to deal with whatever consequences that come with it instead of saying, yelling and insulting someone and then when it get hot in the kitchen, you want to exit out of it. No, don't exit out the kitchen. Let's stay in here. Let's stay in this heat until we resolve what we need to resolve. So again, that's respectfully my opinion on that.
Absolutely. Just one more thing, Lorenzo, just before I let you go. Last night's fight against Joe Joyce versus Zhang. I'm not sure whether you saw it or not, but what a win by Zhang.
Mhm.
Would it be an option if Jermaine came to the UK once again to fight and maybe fight Joe Joyce? Would that be an option, or are you going to have his next few fights in America now?
Well, me being strength and conditioning assistant coach, there's definitely a chain of command that I try to, stay up under. So I let the people that's slightly above me make those decisions. Whatever task they put in front of us as his strength and conditioning assistant trainer, I'm excited about it. There's quite a few options out there. And to be honest with you, I think that the heavyweight division is very exciting. We just got to get those guys to commit to fighting. I don't see one guy reigning undefeated or reigning as champion, because there are certain combinations that if you put together, anybody can have a loss. You got your Deontay Wilder, who have the power to knock any heavyweight out, but there's a few heavyweights that has the skill and the ring IQ to possibly outbox him and outpoint him, as we've seen before. So yeah, it's real exciting. I think that Joe Joyce is definitely an option, but it's just a matter with the promoters getting together and making it happen. But one thing I like about Jermaine is he's a game fighter. So whoever he's in front of, you're gonna see a rough and tough guy get in the ring, show his passion, show his love for the sport, and he's always gonna give his all. So you're gonna be in for a treat no matter who he fights.
Most definitely, and it's good that he's up in the mix, and it just adds to the heavyweight division, which we all like. Lorenzo, thank you for your time. It's been a pleasure talking to you and having you on our channel for the first time, and we'll definitely catch up soon.
Thank you. I appreciate the invitation. I wish Ring IQ a successful future, and thanks a lot.